My name is Phil and welcome back to another episode of Vermont's 100 Covered Bridges. Today I'm at the Pulp Mill Bridge, which is in Middlebury. And once again, another very unique bridge behind me, because it is what is known as a double barrel bridge. So I've come across one bridge in all my travels so far where cars can travel on each side at the same time, which was the Cornish-Windsor Bridge, but there was no barrier separating the two sides of the road. So here we have this double barrel bridge, and there's only 8 of these bridges left in the whole of the United States. So I'm just going to cut in here and just correct myself and give you a little bit more information. So there are 6 double-barreled bridges left in the whole of the US, 3 of which are still in use. And the 3 in use is the Ramp Creek Covered Bridge in Indiana, the Phill Covered Bridge, which is in West Virginia, and this one here, the Pulp Mill Covered Bridge, obviously in Vermont. The 3 that remain but are not in use for vehicles is the Roberts Covered Bridge in Ohio, the Blenheim Covered Bridge in the state of New York, and the final one is here in Vermont at the Shelburne Museum. I'm actually going to go and visit that later today, and that will be episode number 65. And they've added on this little walkway for foot passengers, but you know, I'm going to be walking through that bridge at some point. There's one thing though about driving through the bridge, is because obviously it's single lane on each side, the width is the narrowest that I've been on, because most covered bridges can probably fit 1.5 cars. So once you're inside, you can, you know, move over into the middle and you're fine. But this is very narrow on both sides, so it was quite tricky. You really got to keep your eye on the road in front and don't speed through here. As you can see, Pulp Mill Bridge, built in 1853, rebuilt in 2012. And in I go. So we can see here it has a multi-king post truss with a laminated burr arch truss. It hasn't always been the case. I'm just going to walk through as quick as I can before a car comes. But yeah, here is the king. And again, just an amazing structure. Oh, I was going to step over there, but it was full of cobwebs. And on to the other side. It's even got lighting. The bottom of the laminated burr arch. Nice gap in between. We'll be going down there shortly. But I'll give you the rundown of this bridge, because there's a lot of myths about the bridge and its age. And I say, a lot of repairs. So now I've done the risky bit and gone through without getting hit. Just as a car comes, I can tell you all about the bridge. So if you go online and search what's the oldest covered bridge in Vermont, a lot of the time it will come up as this, the Pulp Mill Bridge. and it'll say 1820. I mean, and that actually would make it the oldest bridge in the whole of the United States, which it clearly isn't. Now, again, the confusion is because there was possibly another covered bridge on this site before this one was built. Again, the exact date isn't known. I mean, it says 1853 on the bridge, and 1853, 1854 is as near as we're probably going to get to the exact date. The reason for the confusion is there was a fire in the town hall, and all records of expenditure on what was built and what was made and done throughout the years before the fire were lost in the fire. Now, like all covered bridges, it needed repairing, but this one seemed to be needing repairing a lot more than others, and that was because it was thought that it wasn't actually made correctly, and this caused constant stress and obviously damage to the trusses. It was originally built with the multi-king post truss with a proper burr arch, but over time, and we're not sure when, the burr arch was replaced by the laminated burr arches that are still inside today. When the bridge was built, originally it was a single span bridge. In 1880, 2 stone piers were erected underneath to support the bridge. In 1979, these were replaced by concrete piers. Hopefully we can go and see those if I'm able to get down. In 2002, work was done on the centre truss, but this was doomed to failure, and the contractor who was hired to repair it admitted that it needed a lot more work done on it. And finally, in 2012, $2 million of funding was secured, and the bridge went through an entire renovation. And the bridge was shut for 2 years whilst this restoration took place. And the list of work that was carried out in 2012 was: steel beams were installed to stabilise and lift the bridge during the work, all the bottom chords were replaced, work done on the posts, sleeper beams, top chords and arches, there was subdecking, and the roof work, which had an installed new standing seam metal roof. And the bridge has 2 names. It's the Pulp Mill Bridge, but it's also been known as the Paper Mill Bridge. And so with the bridge behind me, it's time to go and make our way down to the river as far as we can go. That's what you call a weir. So as you can see, there are two concrete piers holding the bridge up, and nicely for me, there's a nice little ledge to take me underneath. I thought this bridge was going to be the one I couldn't get under. This is the only side of the four sides that isn't on private land. So let's go and take a look underneath. So a full look at the pier. It looks like concrete with a lot of pallets on top holding it up. This reminds me of when I was next to the Phill bridge and the Burr arch came jutting out from the bridge, and there into the rock, but here into a concrete abutment. Let's see if I can get under there. It's gonna be careful, because I am not going to end up in there. So I'm holding on with one side. So here I am, right in the middle, underneath the bridge. Again, the Burr arch jutting out, and there's the third one. And you can see like a steel support there. I mean, a lot of the wood underneath really being the original. And of the river behind me, well, we're back on old ground or old water. It's the Otter Creek. So I recently visited 4 bridges in Rutland County on the Otter Creek, which is the Gorham Bridge, the Depot Bridge, the Hammond Bridge and the Sanderson Bridge. So we're a lot further upstream, probably about 20 miles further upstream from the Sanderson Bridge, which is in Brandon. And the Otter Creek here is making its way into Lake Champlain. This is the 5th and final bridge that's covered over the Otter Creek. Must be great living in that house, looking out the window every day and seeing the Pulp Mill Bridge. There's some scaffolding over there in the middle, above the weir. I'm not sure what's going on there. Obviously the mill would have been around here somewhere, because that's why they built a weir. There's no sign of it from where I've been so far. But the river is certainly a lot wider and a lot deeper than it was in the county of Rutland. So not only does the bridge cross the Otter Creek, it also crosses into 2 different towns. On this side of the bridge, we're in Weybridge, whereas the other side is in Middlebury. Thanks for joining me today on what I'm sure you'll agree is a very unique bridge, and one which was great to film at and finally be here. What can I say? These bridges, they just keep throwing up more and more different styles and different ways, and railway bridges and double barrels. Each bridge is just unique, as I keep saying throughout the series. Thanks again to the Vermont Covered Bridge Society for their great support and help, and join me again next week for another episode of Vermont's 100 Covered Bridges.